Francis Channel. We're back again. Arsenal back on top of the table. And I tell you what, you can see how stressful the last couple of weeks has been for Arsenal fans because we ain't even gassed. We're not even gassed. We're not even excited. You know, a lot of people told us that Man City were gonna just put a run together towards the end of the season, and it feels like that. We do still feel we're still having a hangover over after the loss against Aston Villa, the loss against Bayern Munich, and the nature of those losses as well. But the positive is that it was very different today. And when I say it was very different today, there were definitely parts of today that felt a little bit flat. But once again, Arteta went with an attacking team. He took a very similar gamble to what he did with playing Aston Villa. Classic Mikel Arteta arrogance of I've tried this before, it hasn't worked. Let me try it again and prove to you that I know what I'm doing. He is a very frustrating and very arrogant manager. But listen, sometimes you need that. And we need a little bit of that in our players, to be honest with you. You know, we need someone with a little bit of character that's going to step up in certain moments. And I'm not going to say that happened today because things were a little bit flat. But as a team, I'm very, very happy with the professionalism, the mentality. We knew that we had to bounce back. Wolves away, difficult game, but a game you'd expect us to win, and that's exactly what happened. 2-0, Martin Odegaard getting a goal at the end and Trossard getting a finish that, if it was any other player, I would call it lucky. But because it's Trossard, you just never know. I mean, Leandro Trossard is such a goal scorer. He does this on a regular basis, scores outrageous goals, and you think, did he mean to do that? But he's just a pure bagsman. And then, like I say, Erdogan at the end, finally getting his shooting boots on. And what was really impressive for me, and what I was really happy to see is that going into 80, 85 minutes, we're 1-0 up, we're relatively comfortable. They put a couple of attacks together. There was one that Raya palmed onto the post, and it's a good attack. And they've got some good attacking players, Wolves, don't get me wrong, but normally what we would see is, okay, it's 1-0, let's sit back, let's not go for a second, let's not gamble. But no, the team went for the second, and eventually after the 90th minute, I think 92nd, 93rd minute, Odegaard got that second. And we always look like scoring a second goal, to be honest with you, and that is the type of energy that we need. That's the type of aggression and directness that we need for the rest of the season. And had we had that earlier on in the season, we probably would have been away. I am still torn on the Mikel Arteta situation. For me, so long as the project is moving forwards, we have to back the manager, and it is definitely moving forwards, back-to-back runs. No matter what happens in the league, last season people say we bottled it and Man City ran away with it, but now we're 5 games away and we're right there. We're actually at the top of the table. They could maybe win it on goal difference or by a point or two, but we're right there with them. They're not running away from us anytime soon, and we are in the ascendancy. Final 16 of Champions League, the way we went out wasn't good enough, but I think that this team and this manager deserve another transfer window and another season to see what we can do, because he is the manager that's got us here. But just on this game, I don't like to come on here and complain about referees. Lots of people say refereeing decisions go spinning roundabouts, and you'll get some for you and some against you. I thought Paul Tierney was really, really awful today. The challenge from Max Kilman on Kai Havertz was way late, very dangerous. It was one of those. It's definitely a yellow, possibly a red, but for me, probably just on the side of the yellow. And to be honest, it doesn't even look like he's going to give it as a free kick until all the Arsenal players start kicking off, and Rice in particular goes and makes a challenge, and then both players get a yellow card. And I think that was a wholly ridiculous decision, to be honest with you. There were a couple other challenges. There's one where their left back basically had his 2 arms around Saka's waist and threw him to the floor, and Saka was being really strong to hold him off, and the guy was just fouling him over and over and over again. No yellow card given for that, and barely a free kick. Ref tried to play the advantage, it looked like, but Saka had his back to goal. There was no advantage really to be had. I thought Paul Tierney was really poor, really, really poor today. And I don't want to talk too much about the ref, but I just had to get that out. 2-0 away from home, can't complain, and a clean sheet as well. Everyone else, the most in the league at the moment for away clean sheets is 4. We've got 6 away clean sheets on the bounce. We always talk about defense winning titles. We have the best defense in the league this season. We had a pretty strong defense last season. If we can continue to build on this, bear in mind we've had 2 of our top defenders, in what would have been our top defenders, Jurrien Timber and Tomiyasu, out for a large portion of the season. I think we can continue this next season. We've also had one of our DMs, Partey, out for a large portion of the season as well. And with those players out, we've still got the best defense in the league. And I think if we can add goals to the team, and we should be there. We should be winning major trophies. And a lot of people are not saying it's that simple, and I understand that. It's a little bit more complicated. We could do with a centre mid as well, because our centre mids in Jorginho and Partey are aging. We could do with somebody to cover Saka, because he can't be playing every minute. But I do think that we're a top goal scorer away from, and maybe a couple other pieces, but that has to be the priority because we've got the defense. You know, we've rebuilt the defense from the ground up. We've rebuilt with the goalkeeper and everything like that. We'll make that signing of David Raya permanent in the summer. And I thought the defense again today was really good, really impressive. There were a couple of moments where they're going to put pressure on us. That's going to happen. It's a 90-minute game in the Premier League. That's going to happen. I thought Saliba was really good. I thought he was superb today, nice and composed. Gabriel winning balls in the air. He wasn't great a couple of seasons ago at winning the balls in the air, but he was great today at winning balls in the air. And this season he's been at that consistently. So the defense, I really can't have any complaints. David Raya doing his job again. When to go long, when to go short. We have to remember it's David Raya's first season at Arsenal. Yes, he's been in the Premier League with Brentford, but this is his first season at Arsenal, and I think he's done really well. There's been a couple of moments where people are saying, you know, could Ramsdale have come in? Could Ramsdale have dealt with that moment? And potentially they're right, but in individual moments they're right. But I think, you know, David Raya, 100%, you know, he's been such a good loan signing, and we have to make it permanent. Again, having the best defensive record in the league and six away clean sheets on the bounce back to back. We haven't conceded a goal away from home in 6 games, and that is huge. You know, we've got to go to Manchester United, we've got to go to Spurs, but let's be clear, the 5 games that we've got are all going to be big challenging games. You know, we saw Man City earlier on today playing at Chelsea, and Chelsea, for large spells of that game, in my opinion, looked the better team. You know, I know Cole Palmer's a man who's on fire at the moment. He's the man of the moment, and he's having a great moment, you know, currently. But, you know, Man City do look flat. They do look flat. They do look beatable. They look like they're going to drop points. So we have to focus on what we're going to do. We're all, us, Liverpool and City, you know, we're all very likely to drop points. But there is an outside chance that, again, like I've said for weeks and weeks and weeks now, why can't we be the team that puts the run together? Why can't we be the team that's leading? And then if Man City drop points and they have a difficult game or they have an off week, we go and capitalize on that. And again, the reason I think is a mentality issue. You know, I saw a lot of polls. I voted on some polls on social media, and they said, you know, is it tactics? Is it mentality? And I said it's mentality. And the reason I say that is because when Liverpool drop points and we have the opportunity to go top of the table, we can't do it. But when Man City play in an FA Cup tie and they're not playing, we can do it. You know, there's twice that we've done it, and once we've been going back and forth for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and the only time we haven't been able to get over the hurdle is when we've had the easiest opportunity. We've had the opportunity to actually not just go 1 point above, but then have someone play their game in hand and go back above us again. But we've had the opportunity once in recent weeks to actually pull ahead and start getting away from our competition and be the front runners. And when that pressure, when that was on, that was the Aston Villa game, and we weren't able to do that. So I do think it's a question of mentality. How we change that, I don't exactly know, other than bringing in players that have been there and done it, and the leaders in the dressing room and leaders on the pitch and have a bit of game management. The players are learning that at the moment. I think we will be so much better next season in these types of moments because this experience is really invaluable. But just on today's game, you know, it just goes to show that anything can, you know, not anything can happen. We're experienced. We're supposed to be winning these games. It was a routine 2-0 win for us, but it just goes to show that we can do it on any given day. We can do it. The away games that we're going to play, you know, like I say, still going and scoring in the 90th odd minute. You know, we normally see that from Arsenal when we're a goal down or when we're chasing a draw, but to be up and still chasing goals in 92, 93 minutes, I think is really important. We need goals to come from everyone in this team right now. I don't mind shots on the edge of the box. Thomas Partey coming on, I don't mind those shots, even if we miss them. There was one, Saka turned, he got past the fullback and he cut in beyond Aït-Nouri and beyond, I think it was Kilman as well. And he almost didn't expect to get that far and takes the shot and it goes over. It was the right foot, you know, almost become a trademark right foot roof of the net shot. And you know, he didn't quite, he looked like he was burning out of energy towards the end of that play, but he needs to chip in with some goals right now. He wasn't bad today, very good today, don't get me wrong, but we need him to chip in with goals. Gabriel Martinelli, meant to be one of the mainstays in the team, he needs to chip in with goals. You know, a couple of times now, Trossard has started over him and Trossard's gone and got us a goal. When you come off the bench, you need to go get us a goal because at the moment, you know, Trossard is putting down a big statement for why he should be starting over Gabriel Martinelli. Let's be honest. Jesus, we need goals from him. I know that's not the main part of his game, but we need goals from him. Declan Rice as well. You know, Ødegaard is doing his thing. I think Ødegaard, through this period where we've been struggling, I think Ødegaard has been brilliant and superb, and he's continued to be that today. Really solid today. The rest of them just need to chip in a little bit more. And it was a man of the match performance again from Declan Rice, who's been a little bit flat in recent performances, but it was just pure work rate from him today. It wasn't even technical ability or any of the flashy stuff. It was the real workmanship that allows Ødegaard to push forward, just creates that base for us. You know, Declan Rice is the player that is both part of our defensive unit and part of our attacking unit. He has a huge responsibility. And like I said, it was a man of the match performance for him today. 2-0 away from home. Can't complain. Roll on the next game. We've got 5 games left, and let's see what we can do. We're not out of it yet.